and welcome back to the Coaches Hour podcast. You're here with myself as always, Hym, and my co-host is Jewade Graham. So before we get into it, quick ask: if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit the link in the description and leave us a review. Doesn't have to be long. Just tell us what this show means to you. Every single one of these helps us grow, and we read every single one. So with that out of the way, let's dive into it. So Jewade has found a post this week about personal training, and I quote verbatim: "Are you guys stupid for loading weight onto the bar for your clients? Said it's not your job. Said it's not about dignity. Said to stop doing it. Otherwise you have no dignity." And today me and Jewade are going to be reacting to this. But it's a little bit bigger than just loading a bar. We're going to talk about what actually makes a good service. So let me just read out the post quickly and then we can say our thoughts. So the post said, "In personal training, the trainer loads the weights for their clients. Are you guys stupid? Why the duck would you load weights for clients? It is not your job. Your job is to guide the training, form check, and make sure the client is lifting safely. Stop loading the weights for them unless the client is injured. Maintain your dignity." So you found that one actually. It was a Threads, right? Was it Threads?
No, it was an Instagram. Oh, sorry, it was an Instagram post, but it got reposted on Threads and then on Twitter or something like that.
So who's this guy? Is he a trainer?
I didn't, because I reacted to that initially on my Instagram somewhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't put his name or anything in. I'm not sure if I even got the post anymore, but it was definitely a trainer. I think it was a trainer. If I remember rightly, he worked in India.
Okay.
And I'm not sure whether like socially there's a different custom out there or not.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it kind of caught my eye, and there was a little bit of engagement off the back of it, and there was a few people actually agreeing with it.
Oh, wow.
Which made me think it might be a little bit more of a cultural thing over there. I'm not too sure.
Were they Indians well then?
Mostly, because I think it was mostly like an Indian account, so like a PT or a mentor that was over India. And there was like a little bit of a reaction to it, and I completely disagreed. So I just took the concept and I put my word on it. And just as a side note, if you are going to do a reaction video, like no one, not even you know who that person was. There are ways to do a reaction video without putting someone's name and face all over social media. So like that was my way of like.
I always feel like it's worth giving them credit though.
Credit where credit's due.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't call someone out, by the way, but like that's my way. Normally, unless someone pisses me off, they'll remain anonymous, even if I don't agree with them.
So I think we both probably have a similar opinion on this, in the sense that, you know, my opinion is that I think you should load the weight for your client. Not necessarily that you have to, but I think it is like an unspoken rule almost as part of your job. I would disagree to say that it's not part of your job. I think it's part of your job in the sense that it's your job to coach them, to support them to be the best that they possibly can, right? And if that means that them resting between the set can allow them to get a really fucking hard set in to the point that they're absolutely smashed, hey, I'm happy to strip the bar off and load it for you. If that means that you take the rest that you need. You know, I want this client to succeed here. Is it a small part? Yes. But ultimately, you know, I want someone to progress and hit the numbers, right?
Yeah, and like, it's a weird one because like when I initially posted it as well, I thought everyone would agree with me in terms of like what you just said kind of thing. And it was really mixed. Like there were quite a few people that agreed that the clients should unload the bar themselves, etc. And to be honest as well, like I'm quite open-minded, even though I'm not. I actually agreed with some of the like there were some very good reasons as to why the clients would.
What was the reason?
I'll get up in a minute and we can discuss it live. But for me, the quote that I had in my head was, I get that like it's part of the service, but it's like me going to a hotel and I get to the room and the sheets are on the bed folded up and they say to me, oh, you can put the bed sheets on yourself. Or the shower's a little bit, you can clean the shower yourself. No, it's part of the service. That's what I'm paying for. Like just because you give me a bed doesn't mean you can leave the details and like, do you know what I mean? So for me, I likened it to that. And that's one of the main reasons why I disagreed with it. Like we all talk about charging premium. We all talk about 5-star service. The coaches that charge premium, it's not just the fact that you can get someone a result. It's the fact, or it's how you get them there as well. Like a Fiat and a Ferrari are the cars, they'll both get you to the destination. A Ferrari cost 50 grand, a Fiat cost 5. It's not the modality, it's the details in between that provide the quality. And I think personal training and delivery of a session is quite similar in that.
Yeah, I think like a good service as well, shouldn't be defined by the narrowest possible reading that you can of your job title. So like people are like, it's like, I'm a personal trainer. I only train you, and that's it. It's like, yeah, but with a lot of jobs, and this is not just personal training, with a lot of jobs, sometimes you do have to do things outside of your official role. And that just is all jobs, right? So if this person is saying that, that you've got no dignity in terms of, doing these kind of things, it's like, well, it's kind of self-respect, right? So if your job, is only to guide these clients to train and to lift safely, then you never talk to your clients. Then, you never offer anything outside of the sessions. How does your client even book in a session? Because that's not your job role, right?
Yeah.
That you must have some sort of admin team that's going to do that for you, which is not the case. Does someone create your content for you? Do you know what I mean? Like, we have multiple job roles,
and that's the wider issue. Like, and I think, like, that's why I created the post out of it, because you've just brought up, it's not just about how you do one thing, is how you do everything. And if you shirk on some of the details, i.e., if you if you don't have a uniform, if you have your phone in sessions, if you're drinking coffee during sessions, that won't stop the client from getting a result. But if you do that, then you'll probably miss a check-in. If you do that, then you might turn up 5 minutes late. If you do that, then you'll miss other things within the process. So like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I was listening, I've just found a couple of comments that I quite agreed with. So like, someone said that initially they'll load and unload the weights for their client, but after a certain amount of time, they'll start to get the client to do it themselves as preparation for when the client works without them, which I do get though. Yeah. Because like sometimes it's like, you're not going to be working with me forever. Where did the 5s get kept? If you don't know, go and get the 5s. Where are the clips? Go and get the clips. Where's the bands? Go and get the bands and set this up like you would set yourself up, kind of thing. Especially if you're using bands to manipulate profiles, etc. So in that context,
to develop autonomy.
Yeah, I do understand it.
But you wouldn't just watch them do it, right?
No.
You would do half of it.
But to be fair though, so like I have done this with clients, like in the past, where if a client's got a holiday, like, so we'll be working together for however long it is, they tell me they've got a holiday, and although the machines won't be exactly the same, they've got a holiday, for a few sessions before their holiday, if they're going to work in the hotel gym, I'll say to them, okay, then you lead this session. Because a lot of people might not have set up a leg curl where they've put the thigh pad on.
Had to move the adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I'll say that to them just to get them prepared for your machine that you might use might be different, but it'll probably be similar to this.
I mean, I think that is definitely true, but I think that's a slightly different context to the way that the post is written. 100%.
Right? And that's why
maybe that's a like rage bait kind of thing.
Exactly. So 100%, like I do agree, like that the post was. But there are like aspects, and this is where like context comes into it, because I was adamant that you should never do this, and like someone else said, I found that I've got loads of injuries myself, and I think there might have been an older woman that was a PT that was lifting probably heavy plates and doing that repetitively.
They're training guys.
Yeah, or training whoever, like a 20 plate for 6 hours, 6 sessions a day. It will catch up with you over time. So they were getting loads of injuries. So it was like, okay, then cool. I will do what I can, but also you can help me do it as well. Because like if you unloading a leg press,
I think the thing is, I think most people help you. Like it's never going to be a client just sits there like on their phone.
Yeah.
Whilst you do it. Do you know what I mean? I think most people, from what I've experienced as well, most people do try to help. There's going to be times where they're absolutely smashed and they don't.
Yeah.
Or if they don't know what exercise I'm going to do next, I'll just load something quickly, right? Sometimes I'm loading stuff once they're kind of doing the set, they're like, I've seen them do 2 sets already and okay, this is good. They don't need necessarily a spot here.
Yeah.
I'll be
like
preparing
kind of like
something.
a back offset or
I'll be just preparing something whilst they go, so that it's quick transition, right? But yeah, I think it's difficult, right? Because it's not. I think the way that he portrays that post is a bit like the client is like some millionaire that's standing over you with his pants down whilst you're fucking doing it. Do you know what I mean? That's the image that he's given. And I think that's a bit extreme. I don't necessarily think that is the case. And I definitely agree, like, with the autonomy, like, setting up the machines is probably, if you always baby them, then of course they might not necessarily know how to set the machine up later, right?
Yeah, and like that's what I mean, because like until I understood, until people gave me their opinions, and this is what I mean, like they came at me respectfully with their opinions. I listened to them, I was like, actually, yeah, you know what? I haven't thought of it like that, and that's a really good point, kind of thing, and it does make sense. And I've just picked out a couple, but like there was loads more, like both to and from. And like for me personally though, like for how I operate and why I charge what I do and why I get the results I get, yes, I'm a great coach, but also outside of that, it's the little things that I do between sessions, during sessions, that enable me to build the buy-in, build the rapport, and also the level of professionalism. Like everyone wants clients that will pay a lot of money. Well, the clients that pay a lot of money, they're probably used to quality. If you're actually if you're actually coaching people that have money, when they go to a restaurant, they'll probably go to a Michelin star restaurant. They're not going to go to KFC. The service level is different. If you want to operate around those people, you have to be aware of what those people expect. And it doesn't mean you lower yourself or belittle yourself, but we are in a service industry. We are here to serve. So you have to serve in a way that provides the outcome you want. If you want to charge $150 an hour, you have to be a £150 an hour PT. And that might mean you wear a uniform. That might mean you turn up on time and don't use your phone. That might mean you put the weights away, because that's what people with money expect. And if you won't do it, someone else will. And that other person might not be as good as you, knowledge-wise, but they provide the service that the client wants.
Yeah, I always think back and like, if I was being trained right, what would I like? And even when I'm training with someone, I'd like somebody else to do half the work. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So yeah, I think if I had a trainer, I'd love for them to be able to at least load some of the machines or have something ready for me.
You go to a car wash, you don't grab a cloth and start drying the car off, do you? You wait until the guy does the job. Like that, he hangs the air. You don't say, "Oh, let me hang the air freshener for you." You let him hang the air freshener. He doesn't have to. You're not paying for that, but he does the little bits. Do you know what I mean? Like and I think this is what, like, I don't know who PTs think they are sometimes. Like because if we look at other like industries and whatever else, if we go and give someone our money, we expect X, Y, Z. That is probably not in their job description, but we expect it. Yet when like the simplest of things, for the majority, if you got an injury, of course, I understand. But for the majority of people, it's very simple to unload and reload a weight. And the impact that has, it might go undetectable, but it will create the larger landscape for you to be able to provide a result. Because as I say, as you do one thing, it's how you do everything.
Definitely. So what else do you think makes a good service? Is there anything else that you would add?
Yeah, so that was like a little nuanced point, but overall communication. So like that's during sessions and outside of sessions. Another thing that I've seen recently that I didn't send you, but like is similar, where, and again, like I think the industry at the moment, within ourselves, we're trying to create a narrative, and I probably play into it as well, of it's PTs versus online coaches. It's in-person versus online. And I've seen a lot of coaches online that are saying, you shouldn't get an in-person PT because you're only paying for the hour of an in-person PT. Outside of that, I'll give you your WhatsApp check-ins, your 24-hour response times, your nutrition, whatever else it may be. And in my head, I'm just like, that's a nonsensical point, because I've seen it a few times and I go on their page, 0 results. So straight away, shut up. The second thing is, any PT worth their salt is not just delivering a session. We deliver outcomes. And that means you deliver a session and whatever else is needed to get that client a result. That also means you have to charge appropriately for all the time. So £150 an hour is not just for the session, it's for all the shit you do outside the session, which might mean it's £75 an hour because you do an hour's worth of work outside the session every single week. That might mean it's actually works out to be a little bit less than 150 or 200, whatever it is. That's fine. But don't say like, as a PT, you should be communicating outside the sessions as well.
Yeah. I think, it's like you said as well, it's taking pride in all the small things as well. So, there's going to be things potentially outside of your scope of like your job title. And it's not being so stoic and being like, this is the only thing I should be doing, right? And trying to like basically doing the bare minimum as like boundary setting. It's like sometimes it's worth going above and beyond.
Yeah, and like for me, like that guy that I posted on Instagram, I didn't even look. I can't remember if I looked into him, whether he had results or not. But it's irrelevant. But I feel like a lot of the coaches that moan about this stuff and that would moan about this stuff, if we were to look into their page, they probably aren't full. Maybe not all of them. They probably don't have a lot of results. They probably aren't charging the most money. And if that is the case and you wonder why, think about the things that you can be doing outside the session or even during the session that you're not doing. And it's like, if you start focusing in and dialing in on those, you'll probably find an increase in the areas that you want, the finances, the clients, the results, the reputation, and everything else. Like very rarely can you have one without doing the other. So like going back to, so we've said communication, we've said attentiveness during sessions, like even just being on the gym floor. I've got a post in my drafts about this, being on the gym floor and not smelling, having a uniform. Like, do you know how many PTs, like in the places that I train, and I'm like, I'm walking past,
stink.
And I'm just like, yo, you, how dare you train a client and you smell like this? Why did they smell like this? A, they've got no hygiene to begin with, or B, they've just finished training themselves. If you train in the same gym, just bring your fucking towel and shower, cream yourself, present yourself, comb your hair before, put your uniform back on. Like I've seen people training their uniform, like it's like,
it's mad.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. They just roll on for the day. It's
like imagine I'm coming to record a podcast and I wish I'd have bought a change of clothes. If I had anywhere to shower and change of clothes, I've just been on a tube for an hour. And I feel like, no one else is here. Like people can't smell through the camera, but I'm like, I'm not fresh.
Yeah.
Like I still look all right, but I feel like in myself, like, a bit sweaty.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that probably is a bit too far because I'm a bit weird with this shit. But that's a level that I'm like, if you want to be the best, you've got to operate like the best. And like how you present yourself is like no phones, no coffee. Like the most you can have on the gym floor is water. I've seen people standing up like on the machine with their coffee or their Monsters, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't mind having a protein shake, something like that, in a shaker.
Now, you know what? You can. And this is, again, I'd probably take it not too far, but if I have a protein shake, when they're in their rest time, I'd say, you go and get yourself a drink from wherever the drink is. It might be next to them. I would then excuse myself and go and get my drink away from right in front of them. So like, and again, it depends on the facility because like I'm like at M10, we had our laptops, like you can't have this in all gyms, we had our laptops on the side. So I would have whatever drink I have on the side and I would go and check the next exercise and I would take a quick swig. Client can't see that. It doesn't affect their service. But I'm not going to stand in front of wherever I am with coaching them on the gym floor with a coffee, a Monster, or whatever in their hand. If I'm doing that, it's either in the staff room after the session or, so a protein shake you probably can get away with because
it's got in a bottle.
It's in a bottle, it's disguised. But like I'm talking about the Costa coffees, the Monsters, the drinks that I think are a little bit more professional. And I say this because I've got a can of Monster right here. Hopefully it's out of shot. But like, so I do know like you can have your caffeine if you need it, but just have it at times where it's not affecting your session and your client might not care about that. That's not the point. Like I don't have an iPad and Kahuna's has got an update where you can't go into the client view on your laptop. So sometimes I'm in the studio, it's only me and my client in the studio and I'm on my phone and I'm logging a thing on my phone and I say it so much, I say like, I need to get an iPad. No one else is watching me on the gym floor. It's just me and my client. And in my head, I'm still like, I shouldn't be using my phone because it just looks weird. It feels weird to me. And my client, like I said to my client one time, I was like, because the update happened literally before my session, and I was like, I always have my laptop, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna have to use my phone today. What do you mean it's fine? I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, the clients will understand, but it's above that.
It's a standards thing, isn't it? Like your own personal standards. It's not. And I think you got to take pride in the little things yourself, right? Like no one else is going to do that one client, and then you get used to it.
Yep.
Right. So you do it once, and then you're like, oh, this client doesn't mind, and then you get used to it, and it gets more and more relaxed, and that's kind of how it starts.
I see horror. I've seen a man either voice noting or on the phone during a session.
I mean, all the time. All the time.
Like literally, like his client's there resting, and he's either voice noting.
You see them ones where they're like this. This is one of their clients.
Real?
Yeah.
Not a skit.
Serious.
I ain't seen that.
Serious. Is it?
But like,
so the client's doing like that pull down. It's like, yeah, 2 more, and he's on the phone. Bro.
Yeah, nah.
That's a mad one.
But this is what I mean, and like before that used to kind of trigger me, and I've never said anything because like I'm training, I'm doing my mind and my own business, but I'm just like, the client will not even know that that's terrible PTing in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, if it's considered good, like you've probably had it as well when you're on the gym floor. You've had clients that have had PTs before, and they come to you, and within one session are like, wow, this is night and day different to what I've had before. And that's good for you because you've got the buy-in, but it's so bad because
that's what they think of the industry.
That's what they think of the industry. And some other people will be like, I'm never going to get a PT again because X, Y, Z.
Because in your head, you're like, what do you mean, wow, this is just a standard procedure.
Exactly.
Right?
Literally. It's like, I'm not doing anything special. But when you actually look at the industry as a whole, you probably are. And it's like, and like if anyone listens to this, anyone that invests in their education, you probably don't realize it. Even if you're not the most knowledgeable, you're within the top 10% of PTs in the industry.
I didn't really realize it until like when I was first starting out with PT, like how important the uniform is as well. I didn't really understand. Like I used to just wear like navy shorts or whatever shorts with like some sort of design on it with my UP uniform. And then afterwards they said, oh, look, black shorts only. I didn't really understand. But then obviously now looking back, I'm like, yeah, it just
Makes
looks
sense.
a bit off.
Yeah, and like, because it's weird because M10 was sick for that. Like everyone was just black, like they gave you black polos and it was black trousers or black thingies. And like, it wasn't black trainers, but I used to wear black trainers. I'm a little bit off. Say off, it's not, do you know what I mean? But like before then, even like in the gym group, I remember we were allowed to wear our own uniform, but I always wore the gym group. And when I was on shift, I had my blue one that just says, ask me for help. When I was PTing, I wore my black one that says, I'm with a client now. And no one told me to do that. I did it all the time.
I never got those tops.
All the time. And it got to the point I left before it come in. But it got like, so I've got this logo here.
Yeah.
It would be, you could get the ones with the gym group and your logo. But
Sick.
I just had the gym group ones. And it was really interesting because we had a manager that was a little bit like, you know, like just there to pick up his check. He left and we had a new manager, and I'm not saying I inspired him to do this, but he saw me with my uniform. Not long after he came in, everyone was wearing uniforms. And in my head, I was like, oh,
you ruined it. I don't stand out
my
anymore.
competitive advantage is gone, which is quite selfish a little bit. But it was good because everyone else like it makes a difference. And that manager, I'm sure now he's like a cluster manager. So he manages multiple gyms, which means he had the same attention to detail of, yo, this is the standards.
Yeah.
Like you have to set a standard. When you're on shift, you wear, like, that's what it was as well. When you're on shift, you could wear your own clothes. How are people going to come and ask for help if you're on shift wearing your own clothes? He was like, if you're on shift, you wear the uniform, you're part of the team. And it was like, I saw that in him as well. And it's no surprise that he's now years later doing what he's doing. Like,
yeah. That's what I did as well. When I was PTing in Singapore, I used to work in some freelance places as well. I was the only one that had uniform on.
Yeah.
Like nobody else had uniform.
It's mental.
It's crazy.
And people, like, we have one chance to make a first impression. Use it. Like, especially if no one else is doing it, why wouldn't you? Like, this is like Nike and whatever else now. You don't have to be like, just get a plain, like, I've still got some of my tops that were printed on with, I don't even know what it is. Like, it's just plain.
Same. You need to bring it back to wear it.
Yeah, they're just washed out now.
Yeah.
Like, you wash them once, they're done, but you still wear them because it's fucking uniform.
My old logo is red.
Yeah. So like, I've still got like clothes like that, and it's just like, have a bit of have a bit of pride in yourself kind of thing. So
Definitely.
can't remember what we've said, but like basically in sessions, communication, uniform, and like not being on your phone, and hygiene. Those are the things, like in terms of level of service, that should be a bare minimum.
Hygiene's got to be a bare minimum for just general, right?
You'd be surprised, man.
I know, it's savage.
You'd be surprised. So
It is savage.
Is there anything more you want to go through, or do you want to wrap up there?
I think the most important point that I've got is like, it's just at the end of the day, like if your definition of your job is like the narrowest possible thing, like a list of tasks that you like have to do, you're gonna just be a forgettable coach.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna remember you.
And I probably shouldn't say this. Well, not shouldn't, but it's my job or our job to raise the level of the industry. But until that happens, if you are the person that is doing the stuff that these other coaches aren't, that is your competitive advantage. Until we get around to getting to everyone else and bringing the whole level up, use what you can to get ahead. Yeah. And the little things that everyone else isn't doing for now, if you do them, you don't have to be the greatest coach. 100% be bettering yourself, but straight away you'll stand out.
Definitely.
Cool.
So we hope you enjoyed this episode. You can find me on socials at Gym with Him, and my co-host Jewade is at Jewade Graham Coach, and we'll see you all on the next Coach's Hour. That's all right.
Peace.